Eileen GU reflects on decision to leave Team USA for China. A lot of people just don't understand. Eileen GU released a statement on social media Monday, reflecting on her controversial decision to compete for Team China despite being born and raised in the US. GU's statement tied the decision back to her passion for promoting women's sports and encouraging young girls to pursue sports. "I gave my first speech on women in sports and Title IX when I was 11 years old. I talked about being the only girl on my ski team, and, despite attending an all-girls school from Monday through Friday, becoming best friends with my teammates on the weekends through the common language of sport," GU wrote on Instagram. "At the same time, I was made painfully aware of the lack of representation. At age 9, I felt that I was somehow representing all women every time I stepped in the terrain park. Landing tricks was about more than progression. It was about disproving the derisive implication of what it meant to ski like a girl." GU went on to express gratitude for the one season in which she did compete for the US. "When I was 15, I announced my decision to compete for China. At the time, I had spent one season on the US team and had been lucky enough to meet my heroes in person. I am forever grateful for that season and continue to maintain a close relationship with the team. I had spent every summer in China since I was 8 setting up summer camps on trampoline and dry slope for kids and adults, ranging from 7 to 47 years old, so I knew the industry was tiny. I felt like I knew everyone," she added. Skiing for Team China meant the opportunity to uplift others through the universal culture of sport and to introduce free skiing to hundreds of millions of people who had never heard of it, especially with the Beijing 2022 Winter Olympics around the corner. GU's statement concluded by acknowledging that certain people don't understand her decision to compete for China over the US, while insisting the choice maximized the impact she would have. "I can look back now, at 22, and tell 12-year-old Eileen that there are now terrain parks full of little girls who will never doubt their place in the sport. I can tell 15-year-old me that there are now millions of girls who have started skiing since then, in China and worldwide," GU wrote. "A lot of people won't understand or believe that I made a decision to create the greatest amount of positive impact on the world stage that I could, at this age, given my interests and passions. 3 golds and 6 medals later, I can confidently say was once a dream is now a reality." GU has become a target for global criticism this Olympics for her decision to represent China while remaining silent on the country's alleged human rights abuses. In an interview with Time magazine, GU was asked her thoughts on China's alleged persecution of Uyghurs and other Turkic Muslim minorities in Xinjiang. "I haven't done the research. I don't think it's my business. I'm not going to make big claims on my social media," GU answered. "I'm just more of a skeptic when it comes to data in general. So, it's not like I can read an article and be like, oh, well, this must be the truth. I need to have a ton of evidence. I need to maybe go to the place, maybe talk to 10 primary source people who are in a location and have experienced life there. Then I need to go see images. I need to listen to recordings. I need to think about how history affects it. Then I need to read books on how politics affects it. This is a lifelong search. It's irresponsible to ask me to be the mouthpiece for any agenda." More controversy surrounding GU erupted after the Wall Street Journal reported that GU and another American-born athlete who now competes for China were paid a combined $6.6 million by the Beijing Municipal Sports Bureau in 2025. GU is the highest-paid Winter Olympics athlete in the world, making an estimated $23 million in 2025 alone due to partnerships with Chinese companies, including the Bank of China and Western companies. Her alignment with China prompted criticism from many Americans this Olympics, including Vice President J.D. Vance. "I certainly think that someone who grew up in the United States of America who benefited from our education system, from the freedoms and liberties that makes this country a great place, I would hope they want to compete with the United States of America," Vance said in an interview on Fox News, The Story with Martha McCallum. Later, When Jiyu was asked if she feels like a bit of a punching bag for a certain strand of American politics at the moment, she said she does. "I do," she said. "So many athletes compete for a different country. People only have a problem with me doing it because they kind of lump China into this monolithic entity, and they just hate China. So, it's not really about what they think it's about. And also, because I win. Like, if I wasn't doing well, I think that they probably wouldn't care as much, and that's okay for me. People are entitled to their opinions." Jiyu has claimed she was physically assaulted for the decision. The police were called. "I've had death threats. I've had my dorm robbed," Jiyu told The Athletic. "I've gone through some things as a 22-year-old that I really think no one should ever have to endure, ever." Eileen Jiyu reflects on decision to leave Team USA for China. "A lot of people just don't understand. In the modern era of global sports, athletes often find themselves at the intersection of culture, identity, and national pride. Few stories embody this intersection more vividly than that of freestyle skiing sensation Eileen Jiyu. Known for her extraordinary talent, elegance on the slopes, and remarkable academic achievements, Jiyu became one of the most talked-about athletes in the world when she made the controversial decision to compete for China instead of the United States. Her choice ignited debates across social media, news outlets, and sports communities worldwide. Many praised her for embracing her Chinese heritage, while others questioned her loyalty to the country where she was born and raised. Amid the noise and criticism, Jiyu offered a simple yet powerful reflection: "A lot of people just don't understand." Her words were not just a defense of her decision, they were a window into the complex realities of identity in a globalized world. A star born between two worlds, Eileen Jiyu was born in San Francisco, California, to an American father and a Chinese mother. Growing up, she was immersed in both cultures. Her childhood was shaped by American life, school, friends, and training in the United States, but she also spent significant time in Beijing, connecting with her mother's family and experiencing Chinese culture firsthand. From an early age, Jiyu was not forced to choose between these identities. Instead, she embraced both. She spoke Mandarin fluently, celebrated Chinese traditions, and maintained close relationships with relatives in China. At the same time, she grew up within the American sports system, developing her skiing career in U.S. competitions and training facilities. For many years, this dual identity felt natural. But as her skiing career skyrocketed and she began competing internationally, the question of which nation she would represent became unavoidable. Rising through the ranks, Gu's rise in freestyle skiing was meteoric. She began skiing at just 3 years old and quickly demonstrated